The best thing about Wimbledon for me is the history. There's always so much rich history for Australians in particular. We have such an incredible series of legends that have played here and done well here. I think every time you walk in the gates of the All England Club, you get goosebumps.
And so I found myself playing some of my best tennis on the centre court at Wimbledon.
It's a sweet victory for the 22-year-old redhead. This time the Wimbledon crown did not.
Every time I hit the ball against the wall, I used to pretend I was there.
Wimbledon has a new women's champion.
10 years of age, my dream was to play at Wimbledon.
There can only be one champion, and none in the end would contest John Newcombe's right to the trophy.
It's just magical when you achieve that dream, and I'm sure it's, magical for her too.
A dream comes true. Australia's Ash Barty is Wimbledon champion.
The stars aligned for me over the past fortnight, and incredible that it happened to fall on the 50th anniversary of Evonne's first title here too. It was absolutely incredible. Evonne is a very special person in my life. I think she has been iconic in paving a way for young Indigenous youth to believe in their dreams and to chase their dreams, and she's done exactly that for me as well.
How did it feel?
Oh, fantastic. And particularly being the first Indigenous world number one.
It's pretty special, isn't it?
That was pretty special to me. It's amazing that she won her first Grand Slam was at the French. That was my first Grand Slam. And that same year, I won Wimbledon in 1971.
To share that with her and share some pretty special victories now with her and be able to kind of create my own path is really incredible, really exciting.
I knew from the first moment I saw her when she was 13 that she was going to be a champion. She had everything. She was playing at the Australian Open. Roger and I stayed there and watched a bit, and we saw one whole point which she had showed all the skills. She did the slice, the volley, the smash, everything in one game. And we both just looked at each other and said, oh, she's got it. She's going to be our next champion.
When I was 5 years old, my sisters always played netball. We always used to drive past tennis courts, so I didn't really want to play netball because I figured it was a girl sport and I was a little bit more of a tomboy. So I decided to pick up a racket and I loved it ever since.
Ash really loves her sport, and she's a walking encyclopedia with any sport.
We play lots of games in our warm-ups and lots of challenges with regard to football, ball skills, cricket skills, all that sort of stuff.
We got an AFL ball, a little kid-sized one, but yeah, I mean, we play keepy-uppy with that. We play we just make up stupid games. It gets a bit out of hand. Obviously, within my team, we have a lot of laughter, a lot of fun. We take the mickey out of each other.
Her coach, her junior coach, who's still a big part of her life, had 4 rules for her, and it still applies today, and they were to have fun, to be a nice person, to be respected and show respect, and then 4th, if you can play tennis after that, it's a bonus.
Oh, I love the sport. I always have, and when I stop enjoying and stop loving the sport, I think I'll stop playing. There's no point in playing a sport just because you have to, because it feels like a job.
She'd been travelling the world since she was 13. She missed home. We're a very close family. She missed her sisters, and she had quite severe depression.
If Ash had played another 6 months in the headspace that she was in, we wouldn't have Ash Barty as number 1 in the world now. She definitely wouldn't have gone back. She saw the signs, knew when to take the break, and took it.
When she was going through a really tough time through playing tennis, she came home. I knew she loved fishing, so I said, throw a line in the water. And she did. I remember one day I tried to contact her and she said, I can't talk right now. And she just showed a picture of 4 fish on the ground. I said, oh, sorry, I understand. I'll call later because I love to fish too.
We never expected her to go back to tennis, not in a million years. She just decided one day, probably 18 months after playing cricket and having some time off, that she'd go down and speak with Casey. And she got on the court and had a hit, and she thought, oh gee, I really do like this, I really do miss it. And back she went.
I never closed any doors saying I'm never playing tennis again. It was just, for me, I needed time to step away, to live a normal life. case was a massive part of me coming back. I think knowing that I had that security of playing doubles with the best mate. I don't think she quite understands how much of a massive impact she has had in my life. Bringing me back into the sport, to be honest, she was the one who started the ball rolling again.
She has a great support system, you know, with her team, and she has great parents. We don't put any pressure on her or anything, which is wonderful. You have to have that to become a champion.
We are mum and dad, and we always have been mum and dad. We stay right out of her tennis. We don't like to interrupt. Ash and Ty's have got a job to do. We're incredibly proud of her.
Yarra Valley Classic champion ASHLEIGH Barty will be the new #1.
We just love to watch her play and see that she's enjoying herself.
Australia's Ash Barty is Wimbledon champion.
They woke up the dog, they woke up the kids, they probably woke up half the neighbourhood, but it was pretty cool to see that.
Everybody reacts differently, I think, after they win Wimbledon for the first time. You're in shock, just as Ash was at the end there.
For me, it was better than I had ever dreamt, and I was really unsure of how to act and uncertain of how to act, and I think just being myself and kind of that emotion came out of realising that my biggest goal, my biggest dream has just been achieved. It was just incredible.
To win a Wimbledon title in a year which we think is probably the most historic you could ever possibly do it, and then Ash to recognise that and recognise her mentorship, her friendship with Evonne by what she wore.
I called her and asked her if it would be okay if I could wear a dress that was inspired by hers. That was really important for me to know that she was comfortable with it because it is such an iconic dress.
I did say to her, I said, you know, if it brings you luck, great, because it brought me luck.
I hope I made Evonne proud.
She certainly did. One of the last messages I sent to her was, dreams do come true, and it will come true for you.
Australia's Ash Barty is Wimbledon champion.
Ash is a hero, and there's going to be young girls and young boys that want to pick up a tennis racket and be like Ash. There'll be families that name their kids Ash.
She is an inspiration. She inspires people to play sport, let alone play tennis. You know, Ash is the world #1, and she's right here in our own backyards. I think you'll find that tomorrow and a few days later and a few weeks later and a few months later, more and more people are going to want to get out on the tennis court and try and win Wimbledon and dare to dream, just like Ash has.
This will be hard to top as the best end to NAIDOC week ever, to have a First Nations person win Wimbledon. Ash is so inspirational.
This one's for you, mate. You like it? Yeah?
Provides such a great role model to everybody.
Around the world, you are respected as humble, kind, and very nice person. What do you think about it?
Thank you, that's very kind of you to say, but I think I've just tried to live by my values that my parents instilled in me. I was just extremely lucky that I was able to have an opportunity to learn how to play the game of tennis, but I think being a good human being is absolutely my priority every single day.